Okay, for notes 5-4, we're basically going to be doing the opposite of what we did on 5-3. For 5-3, I gave you a graph and I asked you what the equation was that described it. But in notes 5-4, I'm going to give you an equation and ask you to make the graph. So remember that slope-intercept form of an equation is y equals mx plus b, where m represents the slope and b represents the y-intercept. Okay, so on example 1, 2/3 is in the place of m, which means that 2/3 is our slope, and -2 is in the place of the b, so that is our y-intercept. So the y-intercept is always your beginning spot. So what you want to do is on the y-axis, find -2, because that's our y-intercept. And when you find -2, you want to put a dot on top of it. Then the next thing that you do is look at your slope. For this one, our slope is +2/3, which means that from my y-intercept, so I'll go back to where my y-intercept is, and I go up 2, and then to the right, 1, 2, 3, and I put a mark there. And then from that dot, I go up 2 again, and to the right, 1, 2, 3, and I put a dot there. I'm going to do it again. Up 2, right, 1, 2, 3. Okay? Then, because it's a good idea to make your graph go across the entire grid that you're working on, I'm going to go back to my y-intercept, so my original starting point, and I'm going to go down 2 and to the left 3. And I'll put a dot there. And then again, I'm going to go down 2 and to the left. 1, 2, 3. I think you can get one more on there. One thing that I am really a stickler for, though, however, is that instead of just taking your pencil and kind of eyeballing where you think the line would be, it is super important that you use a straight edge to make your line. So whether that be the edge of a ruler, the edge of a protractor, some type of straight edge that you are able to find, and that you make a straight line that goes all the way through the points off the graph, and then you put arrows on both ends. Okay, so really important that you have a straight line using a straight edge, and that you put both arrows on the ends of it. Now, at any point if in the tutorial I go too fast, please feel free to pause and rewind. Okay, so on example 2, 3 is in the place of m, which means that 3 is the slope for this equation, and 2 is in the place of b, which means that 2 is the y-intercept in this equation. So we always start on the graph where our y-intercept is. So on this one, I can see that the y-intercept is on +2, so I'm going to go there, put my dot on +2. The slope is 3, which is really like saying 3/1. So I have to change the slope into a fraction if it's not already 1. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3/1, up 1, 2, 3/1. And I can't go up anymore, but I'm going to go return to where the y-intercept was and go in the opposite direction, which means that I have to go down 1, 2, 3 into the left 1. Down 1, 2, 3 into the left 1. Down 1, 2, 3 into the left 1. Okay, once again, I take my straight edge. I make sure that it goes through all the points on the graph, even going off a little bit, and put arrows on both ends. Then, when I look at example 3, for this one, I don't have a coefficient at x, but if you'll remember back to the very beginning of the school year, we said that anytime x does not have a coefficient, it's really like an understood 1. So the slope in this equation is -1. And anytime your slope is not a fraction, you have to make it into 1. So it's -1/1. And then on this one, my y-intercept is 6. So I'm going to start up here at 6, which is right there. Then because my slope is -1/1, I go down 1, right 1. Down 1, right 1. And I do that as far as I can off the graph. So anytime that you have a slope that is negative, like we did on this one, you want to make sure that your line is decreasing. So this is a decreasing line because it's going down. These other ones that we did had positive slope, so they were going up. But because this line has a negative slope, it's going down. Okay, then for example 4, our slope again is negative, which means it's going to be a decreasing line. So the slope is -4. And here we don't have a constant. There's nothing on the end. So we do have a y-intercept. It's just 0. There's nothing there. So the number that represents nothing is 0. So I start at 0 right there. And then because the slope is negative, I'm going to go down 1 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 1 and to the right 4. And that's as far as I can go that direction. However, I can return to the origin and go up 1 and to the left 4. And then up 1 and to the left 4. So that's what that line should look like. Make sure you take your straight edge, go all the way through the points, and put arrows on the end of your line to show that it continues forever in both directions. On example 5, it has y equals 8, but there is no slope. There is a slope, it's just 0 slope. So anytime you just have a y equals equation, what that means is that you're going to have to go on the y-axis to 8, which is right there, and then you make a horizontal line going that direction. So this is what y equals 8 looks like. And on example 6, x equals -4 means the only axis it should touch is the x-axis. So I go on the x-axis to -4, and because it's an x equals equation, that means that it has to be a vertical line. So anytime you see an x equals equation, that means that it's a vertical line. The homework is 5-4, page 388, number 4, 6, 8, 14 through 18 even, 22, 36, 38, 52, 56. You will need graph papers. If you don't have your own, please see me for some. And that's it.